for coming out today. We would like to take this time to preface this event by first advising everyone that this is in no way, shape, or form directed towards CCTEC or the functionality of our wonderful school. Additionally, we acknowledge the fact that as a student body, we feel very safe with the security here at CCTEC, and we are very thankful and grateful to have such protection in a school environment. We would like to thank administration for allowing us to take part in this event and spread mental health and safety awareness, which leads us to our next point, mental health awareness. This is not to serve as a typical protest. It is rather meant to spread awareness and to show respect to those who unfortunately have lost their lives to instances like we will discuss today. Students, we would like to thank you for participating in this event. It demonstrates leadership in the fact that you are not afraid to stand up for what you believe in. With everything going on in our world today, it is time to stand up and make our country a better place, and that starts immediately. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate it. And when your leaders are acting like children, and your children are acting like leaders, that means one thing: change is coming. Now more than ever, children are among the most educated persons in their community. We have access to one entity that not one congressman had in their youth: Google. With this entity, students have become increasingly more knowledgeable about current events. We have access to statistics. Take this one, for example. According to the Gun Violence Archive, since Sandy Hook, there has been more than 1,600 mass shootings. And of those mass shootings, there has been more than 1,800 casualties and over 6,400 people injured as of last month. According to the Human Development Index, America has as many as 6 times the amount of firearm homicides as Canada, and nearly 16 times the amount as Germany. In epidemiologic reviews, 130 studies in over 10 different countries found that legal restrictions on purchasing and owning firearms directly led to a decrease in gun violence. Numbers are calling, and as we all know, they never lie. So why are we ignoring them? Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Chloe. All right, sorry. Okay. A lot of people who oppose gun control say guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, that's true. There's an issue of mental health, and mass murders have been connected for years, but nothing is ever done about it. In an analysis of 235 mass murders, 22% of the perpetrators were considered mentally ill. Mental illness ranges from mild anxiety to psychopathy, and any type of mental illness affects 1 in 5 adults daily. 1 in 25 adults can't go through their daily life because of their mental illness. To keep guns out of the wrong hands, laws can be passed so that each person who has a gun or trying to obtain one has to go through an extreme mental health screening. And these screenings should be done every year because mental health changes. I truly believe that if a person's okay with pulling a trigger and hurting someone else, they have a psychological and mental issue. I bet all of you could never do that and see the person next to you die. We can all do our best to prevent it by promoting the importance of mental health and getting help. With that said, if you see anyone struggling with mental health, or you know someone who may have a mental illness, talk to them and raise awareness. Even if it's mild anxiety or overloads of stress, as we all have as high schoolers, talk to them and get them the help they need, because you may be the deciding factor with what that person chooses to do next. Mental Health Awareness is in May, and you can get involved by getting a local screening through the media or by local events. Mental health and helping others is a great cause to help the battle of symptoms of mental health so that no kid has to get murdered again.
Every day, 96 Americans are killed as a result of gun violence. Every day, 7 children and teenagers are killed as a result of gun violence. In 2018, 2,150 gun-related deaths have already occurred. In 2018, 39 school shootings have already occurred. In the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting, 28 people were murdered. 20 of those 28 people were first graders. Children between the ages of 5 and 7. Children who had not even experienced a quarter of their lives yet. Children who never learned their multiplication tables. Children who never graduated to 2nd grade. Children who never had the chance to grow up. The list continues on. The March 2nd shooting at Central Michigan University with 2 fatalities. The Las Vegas shooting with 58 fatalities, and the Florida shooting with 17 fatalities. Today, CCTEC stands in solidarity with every victim of gun-related attacks and every individual affected by these attacks. We see your pain, we hear your cries, and we stand with you, fighting to make a change. Gun reform is a necessity needed to save our children, our parents, our aunts, our grandparents. The Second Amendment allows us the right to bear arms, but it does not allow us to violently murder our fellow peers. Much stricter gun laws are needed and have been needed for years. We are calling for change. Understanding the opposed to gun reform, their concerns for the infringement of their rights to own guns for sport and hunting are heard. However, entertainment does not prevail over human lives. I am speaking to Congress, the Senate, the House of Representatives, representatives of the state, and the President of our nation. Listen to the children. We are young, but we are the next generation. We are the future. We have experienced horror and fought for what we believe in, and we see the change that needs to be made. Help us make this change. Hear our voices, for we speak for those who cannot. Thank you.
So we must now take a moment to ask ourselves, when does it end? When will the terrorism stop, the shootings, the death, or the players plastered over social media for what again seems like the 200th time this year? But before that, we must ask us, when will we start? When will we start caring about the lives lost in these shootings that can begin to be prevented? It starts in the heart of Washington, D.C., and it starts in all of the small towns that decide to use their voice. The shooting in Parkland could have been easily prevented, and we did those victims a major disservice. The issue is not about political views or opinions. This is about safety and mental health and how guns must be regulated to a stronger extent. We must push for federal gun laws and for our government to acknowledge that this country does have a mental health issue, but that we also have a gun issue. We do not want to take away guns or to ban them, not at all. We only wish to make it much more difficult to purchase them so that shootings like Parkland and the 25 mass school shootings that have occurred since Columbine in 1999 do not continue to happen. If you are a law-abiding citizen and you own guns, this should not be a problem to you. Guns should be one of the hardest things to purchase in the world, and it should require immense background checks. Many people say that guns don't kill people, but that people kill people. But tell me, do you ever see mass killings occur by the predators using their bare hands as a weapon or a knife? The answer is no. The weapon used to conduct these mass killings are almost always some type of firearm, not the palms of a hand only. We cannot deny those facts. If you have a little brother or sister or niece or nephew or any person that you would be devastated by, if they were to be involved in a school shooting like the people of Parkland, then you should not be against us. This is not a battle of the political parties, it is a battle of safety. Many people say that protesting will do nothing, and I have heard numerous remarks about how idiotic the movement seems. However, I must ask these individuals, what are you doing to make a change? Sitting around and laughing at the people attempting to make a change does a lot less than speaking out about the issue at hand ever will. We all have one thing in common, and it is that we want to feel safe in a place we are obligated to go. We should not have to fear that someone we walk in the hallway with every day may decide to pull a gun out of their book bag and take out an entire classroom before security could even know what happened. Since our government has taken no action to stop these horrors, it is time for the victims and potential victims to speak up. There is a quote I find very partial to this case. It states, "What we must do now is enact change, because that is what we do when things fail. We change them. And that is what we must do with gun laws and the mental health ignorance in this country. We must help and we must raise our voice. We will not be next." Thank you.
You have heard the facts, you have heard the stories, and our cry out for a change. We are all here not for ourselves, but for our peers in our country. All we want is a safer country, a country where no individual has to fear for their lives. We don't want to ban guns, however, we want to take them out of the wrong hands and prevent this from falling into the wrong people. If there is no change, just remember, we are not able to vote in the 2016 election, but we will be voting in the 2020 election, and our voices will not be silenced. And please, for a moment of silence. Thank you, and have a fabulous day.